Jesus, can you hear me? I don't know where else to turn it. I'm desperate. I need your help.
I can hear you, my son. I have always been listening.
Who are you? After all, black or white, we're both still Christians, right?
I'm guessing now's not the time to tell you I'm Jewish.
All our times have come here, but now they're gone. Seasons don't fear the reaper, nor do the wind, the sun, or the rain. Take my hand, don't feel the reaper. We'll be able to fly, don't feel the reaper. Baby, I'm your man.
But doesn't Jesus look a bit more like...
Oh, I see. You thought I'd be white.
Kind of, yeah. You're not really what I was expecting, that's all.
Would you like me to fetch white Jesus instead?
Well, could you?
No! There is no white Jesus. It's just me.
Valentine is done. Here, but now they're gone. Romeo and
Shit, everything else in the world gets sold without people taking advantage, scamming, lying, doing each other dirty. Why gotta be that way with this?
Because they dope fiend.
They are that the CIA knowingly and intentionally did what amounts to pump crack cocaine into Los Angeles.
The CIA and law enforcement had supposedly been funneling drugs into the inner city.
That the CIA introduced crack cocaine into South Central Los Angeles in the mid-1980s.
And to the African American community in particular, as part of a covert effort to stop them attaining stability, building wealth, and achieving political power.
The decade-and-a-half crack epidemic has exacted a ruinous toll.
It breaks my heart.
For 10 years, Eloise Dangerfield has been rescuing the littlest victims, crack babies, from the death grip in which the drug has ensnared much of South Central Los Angeles.
Then, in 1976, Ford appointed him head of the CIA.
Director Deutsch, I will refer you to 3 specific agency operations known as Amadeus, Pegasus, and Watchtower.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society. It's so secret we can't talk about it. What does that mean for America?
Skull and Bones gives its members a secret name that they use during their rituals and in the team. For instance, George Bush Sr.'s secret name was Magog, Magog, Magog.
The word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God, the land of Magog.
I have Watchtower documents heavily redacted by the agency. I was personally exposed to CIA operations and recruited by CIA personnel who attempted to recruit me in the late 70s to become involved in protecting agency drug operations in this country.
Sir, the Republicans are trying to blame you for the existence of a small air base at Mena, Arkansas. This base was set up by George Bush and Oliver North and the CIA to help the Iran-Contras, and they brought in plane load after plane load of cocaine there for sale in the United States. And then they took the money and bought weapons and took them back to the Contras, all of which was illegal, as you know, under the Bolin Act. But tell me, did they tell you that this had to be in existence because of national security? they brought in plane load after plane load of cocaine there for sale in the United States.
And here's Bill Clinton's response.
Well, let me answer the question. No, they didn't tell me anything about it.
In 1982, cocaine trafficker Barry Seal set up one of the largest drug smuggling operations in the United States in Mena, Arkansas, under the approving eye of Governor Bill Clinton.
Barry Seal had a bunch of planes and supposedly had pilots. Barry Seal was a drug smuggler. Now, he tried to set it up in his home state of Louisiana, but they wouldn't let him. He had to come to a state that had a sleazy governor hooked on cocaine, and everybody knew it. Yeah, Bill Clinton was hooked on cocaine.
My name's Barry Seal.
That's for damage. For your sister. Hey, little darling, and your back.
Some of this shit really happened.
You never saw me.
I was working for the CIA, the DEA, and Pablo Escobar. 1,500 kilos.
That's
1,500 kilos, Barry, in one go.
You know as well as everyone else that the CIA has been dealing drugs throughout the world and bringing drugs into this country since Vietnam's War. You brought them in here in body bags.
You think you're going to take 100 kilos of heroin into the US and you don't work for anyone? Someone is going to allow that? That's right.
A trove of official documents obtained under US Freedom of Information laws and published this year detail the dealings between filmmakers and intelligence officials at Langley, Virginia, the CIA headquarters.
Crack cocaine hit hard in the inner city starting in the early 80s. The drug is relatively cheap and highly addictive. It spread quickly.
It was programmed in the hood. Scarface is out there. Was Scarface the movie? Was it that? Hell yeah, it was a big deal. Hell yeah, it was a big deal. Do you remember when the movie Scarface came out?
Absolutely.
How much of a role did you think that played?
I think that played a very big role. You know, that's something that we all know that was put out by, you know, major studios, and it glamorized that world. And, you know, at the end of the day, he died a horrible death.
He was so cool, you know what I'm saying? He made selling drugs and being a gangster look cool.
Oh, Scarface is beautiful. I remember them times, man. It affected me to the fullest. It affected me to the fullest. It affected me to the fullest. Yeah, it really did.
Oh, man. He corrupted the community.
Scarface affected the community in a negative way.
I think it's obvious, you know, Scarface was a great film and it motivated a lot of people to get money, be entrepreneurs, and do what they were doing. The problem with Scarface was Universal profited from it, whereas our community suffered for it.
Getting rich real fast and living that I don't care life, that fearless life, just not having any cares about anything else but getting their money.
It was a movie that made all the youngsters dream. You know, all the youngsters that wanted to be dealers, they gave us a dream.
Everybody want to pick up a pack, everybody named mom, little sister, everybody see that want to grab their guns and come out and do what they do, you know what I'm saying? That's how Scarface affected the hood a lot.
That was the Bible, or a good impression on how to run, you know, how to become like that.
That movie was inspirational, man. The movie basically had a lot of people just taking risks and out here in the streets just doing things that were really crazy, man.
That was 83. 1983 Scarface came out.
It was programmed in the hood. It was programmed in the hood. Times are changing, right? Like we lived in the middle of a time change, which I wasn't able to see until I was older.
Check out Guitar George. Crack cocaine hit hard in the inner city starting in the early 80s. The drug is relatively cheap and highly addictive. It spread quickly. The crack business was lucrative for high-powered dealers like Ricky Ross.
At our heyday, as much as maybe $1 million a day, $2 million a day sometimes, maybe more, a few days.
Ross now in federal prison in San Diego.
And Harry doesn't mind if he doesn't make the scene.
The Republicans are trying to blame you for the existence of a small air base at Mena, Arkansas. This base was set up by George Bush and Oliver North and the CIA to help the Iran-Contras, and they brought in plane load after plane load of cocaine there. But tell me, did they tell you that this had to be in existence because of national security?
We speak with great concern about the drug problem in America today, but we fail to appreciate or address it for what it really is. The number one threat to our national security, national security, national security.
Let me set the record straight on this bill. The underlying bill, which is now the Biden-Hatch bill, was the Biden bill. A guy named Biden wrote that bill, and he wrote that bill by going down and sitting down with the President of the United States of America, not with his Attorney General, not with anyone else, with Bill Clinton.
It's now been 25 years since the 1994 crime bill. It's time to repeal it, and it's abundantly clear putting more people in prison hasn't made us safer.
One step is you must take back the streets. And you take back the streets by more cops, more prisons, more physical protection for the people.
What it has done is decimate communities of color and rip families and communities like mine apart. The 1994 crime bill was written by a bunch of politicians who wanted to show they were tough on crime. So they passed mandatory minimums and tougher sentences, 3 strikes and you're out laws, and many more arrests for drug offenses.
It doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. It doesned matter or not whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become socialized into the fabric of society. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society.
The bill gave states billions of dollars to build more prisons and keep people in prison longer. The result, the crime bill has filled our nation's prisons and jails with our fellow Americans, most of them black or Latino.
The truth is, every major crime bill since 1976 that's come out of this Congress, every minor crime bill has had the name of a Democratic senator from the state of Delaware, Joe Biden, on that bill.
I think the package we brought forward addresses the, quote, drug problem.
In 1986, Congress passed a sprawling criminal justice bill, a central feature of which was a mandatory sentencing disparity punishing crack violations much more harshly than those for powder cocaine.
You can have 500 grams powder and still get probation. 5 grams crack, you get 5 years mandatory minimum.
That difference has had catastrophically racially disparate effects.
80% of the crack defendants were African American.
Along with crack came the thud of police truncheons, a boom in drug arrests and homicides.
At the neonatology ward at Martin Luther King Hospital in LA, she saw 60 babies a month born with cocaine in their systems.
Facing life in prison, LA's biggest crack dealer now is saying he was a pawn in a CIA plot.